Covering Tallahassee, Florida State Athletics is sharing the first numbers from the Savannah Bananas economic impact. Several banana ball teams took over the capital city last month, capping off with a historic appearance at Doak Campbell Stadium. According to FSU, the Bananas visit generated a little more than $10 million in economic impact for Tallahassee and the surrounding areas. The events drew in thousands of people to the area, marking a nearly 40% increase in out-of-area visitors. FSU says nearly half of attendees traveled more than 50 miles to attend. There was also a pickup in activity and demand for hotels, restaurants, retail, and transportation. And FSU Athletics saying the event is part of a broader strategy to use the campus and its facilities year-round, with Athletic Director Michael Alford describing Doak Campbell Stadium as a community asset. When the Bananas took the field at Doak Campbell, they did so in front of a sold-out crowd of more than 60,000.